It's ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense.
It's ludicrous, right? And it's hogwash. Will Smith has been claimed to have had intercourse with entertainer and companion Dwayne Martin. The cases were made by Smith's previous companion and collaborator Sibling Ball. During a meeting with Tasha K., a clasp of which was presented on YouTube on November 13th, discussing cozy minutes he enjoyed with the Smith family, while he filled in as a colleague for Will Ball related an occurrence where he was attempting to find the men in Dark Star just to find him participated in butt-centric sex. With Martin in Dwayne's changing area, he says, "I'm entryway to Dwayne changing area, and that is the point at which I see Dwayne, and having butt-centric sex. With will allow me to handle that briefly. There was a lounge chair, and Will was twisted around on the sofa, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him murder like homicide. It was murder in their ball." Additionally dished on Will's sexual coexistence with his estranged spouse Jada Pinkett Smith, saying saw her say that Will Smith had a little dick. "I'm telling you, assuming a lady is accustomed to something the size of a child leg, and you come in with a pinky toe, there's no way to satisfy her. You can get her 80 vehicles. You can get her 80 personal luxury planes. And she's tingling for that child leg. She need that child leg. You can thump an individual. Such a lot of that they fall into accommodation." Smith has not yet answered the charges, but rather his group has since denied the allegations with a rep for the entertainer, saying this story is totally created, and the case is unequivocally misleading data. The rep said a source near the circumstance additionally let the distribution know that Smith is thinking about making a lawful move against Ball Martin anyway. Still can't seem to answer the case's reports are that Martin, who was recently hitched to My Better Half, and children's star Tisha Campbell, finds the case excessively crazy to address sibling battle, as of late declared a diary enumerating his time working with the Smiths entitled, "Will Smith Wicked Circle Parts of the Smiths' Marriage," have turned into the subject of much hypothesis lately since Jada Pinkett admitted to an undertaking with vocalist August Alsina in 2016. She asserted the issue occurred with the consent of Will, which he denied Alsina anyway. Says the Oscar champ gave him his approval. "I truly plunked down with Will and had a discussion because of the change from their union with Life Association that they verbally expressed on a few times." Edit not including sentimentalism. Pinkett Smith as of late affirmed that she and Will have been isolated beginning around 2016, yet have zero desire to lawfully separate, regardless of residing independently. The Smiths kept on showing up in Open together, and the ruler Richard Entertainer broadly called Jada his better half when he slapped Chris Rock at the 2022 Oscars for poking a fun at her uncovered appearance, which was expected to elicit. She additionally, as of late, uncovered that Rock asked her out on the town while reports were coursing of her separation. She said during a meeting, "I figure each late spring, every one of the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a separation. And this specific summer, Chris believed that we were getting a separation, so he called me, and essentially he resembled, 'I'd very much want to take you out. And I liked you mean he resembled, well, aren't you? And Will getting a separation, I resembled, no Chris, those are simply bits of gossip.' He was horrified, and he lavishly apologized. And that was that. She answered the tales about Will Smith and Dwayne Martin getting discovered having intercourse some time ago on November 15th. She came by the Morning Meal Club and shut down these cases while uncovering they intend to make a legitimate move against Bilal. It's ludicrous. She started this as an individual that attempted a cash investigation that didn't work. We will make a legitimate move. Since it's one thing to have your viewpoint about someone versus making up licentious malevolent stories, it's crazy, right? And it's rubbish. And this is an individual that attempted to an investigation, a cash investigation that didn't work. We will make a legitimate move on the grounds that it's one thing to have your viewpoint about someone versus making up obscene malignant stories in the wake of making sense of that the whole matter is established in pungent transactions among Smith and Val. She momentarily discussed how her alienated husband has managed the continuous circumstance. Here's something beneficial about. Will she cleared up he's continuously going for find the amusing you understand what I'm talking about you just got to snicker about it. Will here's something beneficial about Will's continuously G to find the amusing I figure. That definitely he's consistently G to find the interesting you. Understand what I'm talking about it is qualified to take note of that Diddy once nearly got into a fight with Will Smith after he and his significant other Jada Pinkett Smith made progresses on his then sweetheart Jennifer Lopez. As per the terrible kid tycoon's previous protector Jen Bargan, was gotten some information about the supposed episode in a meeting with a Craft of Discourse, where he reviewed Puff's warmed response subsequent to thinking that the men in Dark Star and his entertainer wife were attempting to draw Jennifer Lopez into the room. Gene Bargan snickered as he pondered internally that Will Smith would undoubtedly pulsate the ___ out of Diddy, despite the fact that he recognized that his previous business could scrap. I think Will and Jada is attempting to gather up Jennifer. I maintain that you should remain near me. I'm a laughter snuffer. I told myself we SMG thump the __. Out you know P Puff could scrap now, yet I don't figure he could pulsate Will Smith you understand what I'm talking about yet. He could scrap you understand what I'm talking about, so then he said that __. So I didn't return to there where Will Smith's sister and her better half was I remained like in the like. About assuming he snuff, Will I could move slow sufficient that Will could presumably get a few punches back. Laughter. Indefinitely yet the ex-guardian likewise recollected decisively situating himself far away enough from Puff, so that if he somehow managed to snuff, Will I could move slow sufficient that Will could presumably get a few punches back in that. __. Was interesting he closed with a laugh felt that Jada and Will were coming on areas of strength for excessively Jennifer making. Propels its hazy when the supposed episode happened precisely yet Diddy and Jennifer Lopez dated between late 1999 and mid-2001 subsequent to meeting on a music video, said ESPN have Stephen Smith faulted Jada Pinkett Smith for the surfacing of the cases. Hours after the cases were made public, Stephen Smith said on his own YouTube show that while he doesn't trust the bits of gossip to be valid, he finds fault for the chat solidly on Pinkett Smith's shoulders. I should apologize to Jay over the last 2 or 3 shows. I mean, she composing books, she discussing how you all need together throughout the previous 7 years. She discussing how sex was actually a choice with you, all she got her kids hankering for 2-pack restoration. She damn near discussed your absence of an erection. I mean, this isn't me, this is her. She done talked everything, all that you realize. She discussed her trap, she discussed with who she made you sit opposite. Her you crying each damn thing that you might actually do to a disparage and belittle and undermine and embarrass a man you have done. Does it truly deteriorate? Then hinting that you messed around with a youngster or a young fellow that was 20 years more youthful than you, essentially who turned out to be your child's companion. By how probably in a house that Will Smith paid for its all your shortcoming Jada Stephen. A Smith blast into the camera. You see what happens when you tell individuals your business. Since you see what happens is that me and every other in the middle between can go out there. And we can discuss an entire pack of things. Why, since you welcomed us to discuss it, whether it's spilling out data about your sexual coexistence with your better half, whether it's selling a book, and telling the world that you all been isolated for 7 even years. He included reference to Pinkett Smith's disclosure, while advancing commendable that she and her better half had unobtrusively isolated so long time back Cardi B. Likewise came to Will Smith's safeguard, despite the talk she took to Instagram, lived to address the story and express her help for Smith, like how I got fooled 2 or 3 weeks prior. Was it a long time prior? I don't have the foggiest idea about my time has being up I could do, without how I was tricked a long time back certain individuals. Simply never change, never show signs of change. And you need to know something I could do without that. ___. I could do without how individuals be willing Smith. I be feeling like Will Smith is very dangerous. And I feel like he got like a decent heart. And that is what I figured out, that Will Smith is a Libra. I generally said this like Libras. We be getting attempted, we be getting tread, and afterward, when we eruption, we explosion sowing weighty, that we become the ones in some unacceptable in light of the fact that when we toss that out eruption, after we get such a lot of our we go so off the deep end that individuals resemble wow what the gracious this our we goes. So off the deep end that individuals resemble wow what the goodness this truly insane hi this insane seriously. And I feel like you all doing that to Will Smith. And I could do without that certain individuals never transform. I'm so worn out on individuals singling out.